Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today I'm going to be looking at two cameras. I'm looking at these two cameras because I'm finding a lot of people getting confused as to which camera is right for photographs and which one is right for taking video, or which is the best hybrid camera. And they're getting confused between the ZV range in the Sony lineup and the RX range in the Sony lineup. So we've got here the original ZV-1 on my left, which should be your right, I think, and the Sony RX100VII in this hand. So why have Sony made two very similar cameras using pretty much the same sensor, 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor in them, and they're very, very different design cameras. And I just want to quickly, hopefully fairly quickly, explain the major differences between these two cameras and what is best for what, as it were. I'm going to go through some images on my computer here. I will leave these images up on my Flickr page so you can take a look at them there. These images were taken on the Sony ZV-1 Mark II, not the ZV-1 that I have here. I no longer have the ZV-1 Mark II, so I can't show you that. But this is the original ZV-1, and they're taken with the Sony RX100VII that I have here. So what are the differences? Basically, the RX100VII or any of the RX100 range is your photographic camera, really, with video. I wouldn't say tacked on, because it isn't tacked on. Video quality is really, really good, but it's not really designed as a video-centric camera. This is designed as your travel-friendly, pocketable photographic camera, and you get amazing images, which I'm going to show you here, or any of the RX100s. Now this particular one, as it's a Mark VII, has the 24 to 200mm lens on, where the others up to the 6 has the 24 to 70. Now also this lens has a smaller aperture range, so it's not so good in low light. The 24 to 70 goes down to f1.8. This one goes down to f2.8 at its widest end. So not so good in low light, but it's still, I think at f2.8, still pretty decent. So I'm happy with it, and I think it works really, really well. And also the 6 and 7 don't have an ND filter, where the ZV range does have an ND filter. So that could be a drawback for some people that love to use an ND filter, certainly for video. So the RX100 range is predominantly photographic camera. Now, another reason why I say it's great for photography, it has the tilty-wilty screen, as opposed to the articulating screen on the ZV range. So this is great for photography. I much prefer this for taking photographs. I find it more discreet, much easier taking photographs with a screen that tilts, as opposed to a screen that articulates out. I always feel I'm going to break the screen, or I feel more conscious that people might be looking at me, because it's kind of more obvious that you're taking photographs. Well, that's why I feel it's a psychological thing rather than a practical thing. Also, it has better control functions for taking photographs than it does on the ZV range. I'm going to show you the ZV in a moment. It has your control ring around the lens that the ZV range doesn't have, the ZV-1 and the ZV-1 Mark II. This has a control ring around the lens. I've got that set up for exposure compensation, but you can set it up for ISO, you can set it up for changing your shutter speed, aperture, whatever. But you'll see, as I turn that ring, the wheel will show up showing that I'm adjusting the exposure compensation. So perfect for that. It also has a traditional PASM dial on the top, so much quicker and easier to get through to your manual exposure, programmed automatic, shutter priority, whatever it might be. It has the, not all of the RX100 range does, but this one has the built-in viewfinder. That is great for photography if you're taking photographs in bright conditions. I think that is awesome. And it's just it's got a built-in flash as well, which the RX1 ZV range doesn't have, and that's great. You can bounce it as well. So again, if you're in really dark environments, you know, if you're in restaurants, cafes, nightclubs, whatever, that's handy. But it has got a built-in flash in the RX100 range. So predominantly a photographic camera. Now it does have 4K video capabilities on this camera, and it has got a mic jack on the top here. You can pull that little flap out, and there is a mic jack on the camera, but that's about it as far as video. It's an 8-bit video codec. That is the same as on the ZV, but no hot shoe or cold shoe for mounting the microphone, so you're going to have to use a bracket of some sort if you do want to use a microphone with the RX100. So that's basically the RX100 range, predominantly photography, because it's easier to get to the controls, easier to adjust your exposure compensation. As I say, I've got it pre-assigned to this control wheel. It's just, and with a tilting screen, it's just a nicer feel for taking photographs with this camera than it is with the ZV range. Now, on the other hand, with the ZV-1 and the ZV-1 Mark II, it has the 3-inch articulating screen, so great for vlogging, great for doing stuff if you're working by yourself. For example, for me, I'm working in the studio here. I have no camera person behind the camera, so it's great having cameras with an articulating screen. I can see what I'm doing. Although, funny enough, I tend not to use the built-in screen. I plug it into a larger HDMI monitor so I can see it even clearer. Certainly with my eyesight, yeah, great as a vlogging camera. The ZV-1 Mark II has the 19mm or 20mm wide angle lens, so it will go wider for vlogging than what the ZV-1 Mark I does that I have here. I find it's okay, but the ZV-1 Mark II has, you know, a better lens for vlogging than what the ZV-1 does. So it also has your hot shoe on the top here. Not really designed for flash, although you can put a flash on it, but it's designed for Sony microphones, be it the wireless microphone or something like the one I've got on my FX30. You don't need to use cables. So the microphone plugs straight into the camera, and the audio is fed from the microphone straight to the camera, and power is taken from the camera. It's called the multi-interface shoe, so that's really handy on the ZV-1. It's got a 3-capsule microphone on the top here, so the sound quality will be better if you're using the built-in mics on the ZV-1 than it would be on the RX100. It has a tally lamp that the RX100VII doesn't have, so you can clearly see that is filming, which is again great when you're working on your own. I think that's fabulous having a tally lamp. I love it. Well, all the cameras have a tally lamp. That would make my day. My FX30 has a tally lamp. I can see that's recording. Even my original ZV-E10 does. The Panasonic S9 doesn't have, but being fed to an external monitor, I can see the red tally lamp around the monitor, so that works fine. So that's great that it's got the red tally lamp, so you can see all video centric features, certainly with the articulating screen. No viewfinder on the RX100, on the ZV-1 or the ZV-1 Mark II. You're reliant on the screen for getting your composition, your colour, your exposure and all the rest of it. And it's just a really nice compact little camera. So yeah, the video features on the ZV-1 is better. No video record limit, so you can just keep on going and going. I find it doesn't overheat. Maybe because I live in the UK, I've not found it overheating, not in my studio either. So great little camera. Both take the same batteries, the little BX1 battery. And that's absolutely fine. It's not my favourite battery, but it does the job. I just put a couple of spare batteries in my pocket when I go out taking photographs. So the little BX1 battery is the same throughout the entire range, be it the RX100 right through to the 7, and the same with the ZV-1 and 2. But yeah, that's basically the difference. It's also lighter. There's more plastic construction on the ZV-1 and the ZV-1 Mark II, where the RX100VII is a metal construction. So size-wise, they're both very, very similar. You're not going to see much difference in size-wise between the two of them. I like them both. yeah, you can't really tell much difference in size between either of these. Hang on, maybe you can look at it like that. You might be able to tell, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, size-wise, is much of a muchness between the two. They both got a little grip on them that enables you to hold it better. I've actually fitted a third-party grip on my RX100VII because that means that I can hold it better when I'm taking photographs. I'm not worried about the ZV1 because I don't really take that many photographs with it. No, but we will take a look at some of these photographs so you can see how good both cameras are. They're pretty much identical, apart from the zoom range on the RX100VII, and the ZV1 and 2 has the ND filter. Absolutely fantastic for video because you do want to try and get that widest aperture you can. And the fact that it goes down to f1.8, you do get that little bit of separation between the foreground and the background, certainly if you're doing interviews or doing this sort of presentation to camera kind of thing. So great with the ZV1, and the ZV1 Mark II does have the ND filter for video. But so if we have a quick look at a few images here. As I say, these images will be up on my Flickr page. I will leave a link in the description. So if we compare these two images as an example, let's clear that. One of them on the left, let's see which one is which, get the information up correctly. Okay, so one on the left is the Mark VII and one on the right is the ZV1 Mark II. Both going to be very similar. As I say, they've both got the 20 megapixel 1-inch sensor. So the clarity, the definition, the sharpness is all going to be very similar. The big advantage with the RX100 Mark VII is its 24 to 200 lens. So you can get in much tighter if you need to. But if we look at another, there we go, what are we doing? Let's have a look at another couple here. Let's have a look at these two. Again, the Mark VII on the left and the Mark II, ZV1 Mark II on the right. Look at the detail, look at the contrast. Look how lovely and sharp they are. So yeah, I mean, I could go through all of these, but just take a look at them on my Flickr page. You'll see there that, you know, how wonderful the images are, regardless of which camera you choose. Now, let's do that, let's have a look at that. Again, beautiful. Edge-to-edge sharpness is great, contrast is great. All in all, they're both absolutely superb little cameras. Now, as I say, the ZV1 and the ZV1 Mark II is fiddlier to use for photography because you have to go into the mode button to choose what mode you want. You can't just use the PASM dial that's on the RX100. So you have to go into the mode dial and choose which which mode you want. Which makes it just a little bit more fiddlier when you're out taking photographs. Also, there is no command dial, there is no viewfinder, but you know, it will still take great photographs if you set it up correctly. So there we go. That's a quick look at the RX100 versus the ZV1 range of cameras. To summarise, buy an RX100, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 if you want to take photographs with some video because it's going to be much easier to get to your function buttons, get to your PASM dial for changing settings on the RX100. But if video is your main thing with some photography, then the ZV range is definitely going to be better. It's got your tally lamp, it's got your 3-inch articulating screen. It's got a mic jack. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but it has got a mic jack if you want to plug an external mic in. But it's also got the hot shoe for putting the mic on, where the RX100 has no hot shoe at all. So there we go. That's a quick look at the RX100 range and the ZV1 range. Take a look at these images on my Flickr page. I'll leave a link into the description of this video. That'd be awesome. So there we go. Thanks very much. Hope you found this video useful. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button if you did find it interesting, and remember to share it if you think other people might find this video useful. So there we go. Thanks very much. That's it for today. Cheers for now. Bye.